Right now, parked in your driveway, your engine is running a whole list of features the salesman bragged about the day you signed the papers. Several of them are quietly taking years off its life. I've spent 22 years with my hands inside these engines, and the parts that fail first are almost never the ones you'd point to. They're the features that earned a gold star in the brochure. Here's what should bother you. The most destructive feature on this entire list isn't a part you can hold or a component you can swap. It's a single number glowing on your dashboard, one the manufacturer programmed to look responsible on paper while your engine quietly covers the cost. That's number one. The fix is free, and almost nobody ever does it. By the time we get there, you'll know every feature your car is running, what each one is doing under the hood at this exact moment, and how to shut the damage down. Number 13, auto start-stop. Every time you roll up to a red light, your engine shuts itself off. The moment the light turns green, it fires back up. In a single commute that can happen 60, 80, 100 times, and the starter, the battery, and the crankshaft bearings absorb every one of those restarts. Here's what the manufacturer won't put in the brochure. This feature exists to pass a fuel economy test in a lab, not to do you a single favor on the road. The worst moment is the half second right after restart, before full oil pressure returns to the bearings. That's metal moving against metal on the thinnest possible film of protection. I've pulled starters off stop-start engines at mileages where an ordinary starter is barely broken in, and the wear pattern tells the whole story every time. The good news is most of these cars give you a button to switch it off, usually marked with an A wrapped in a circular arrow. Press it at the start of every drive. If yours forgets the setting each time you shut down, a small memory module will hold it for you, and either way you'll want a proper AGM battery built for the constant cycling. Figure around $312 for the right battery instead of $684 down the road for the starter. This feature is quietly chewing through. Number 12. Plastic cooling components. Open your hood and find the thermostat housing, the coolant passages, the pump housing. On most cars built in the last 15 years, every one of those is plastic. Plastic is light and it's cheap, which is exactly why the bean counters love it, and it tends to survive just long enough to clear the warranty before it starts to fail. Heat cycle that plastic a few thousand times and it grows brittle, then it cracks. And the first warning you usually get is a sweet smell and a puddle. A mail carrier outside Spokane drove a 2016 Honda Accord that did exactly that. The plastic thermostat housing split open on the interstate, dumped its coolant, and her temperature gauge was pinned before she could reach an exit. The cracks started in a $43 part, but by the time the heat was done flirting with her head gasket, the bill came to $1,190. Here's the move. Every few weeks, look for a crusty pink or orange residue around those housings, because dried coolant is the early warning that one of them is starting to seep. When a plastic piece like that is due, replace it with an upgraded aluminum version if one exists for your engine, and never let the coolant level drift low without finding out exactly why. Number 11. The PCV system. Your engine builds pressure inside the crankcase as it runs, and the positive crankcase ventilation valve is what lets that pressure escape and recirculate the way it's supposed to. When that valve clogs, and it always eventually clogs, the pressure has nowhere to go, so it pushes outward, past your seals and your gaskets, until oil starts weeping from places that were bone dry a month earlier. Ask yourself something honestly. When was the last time anyone, at any shop, said a single word to you about your PCV valve? If you're drawing a blank and your car is past 90,000 miles, there's a real chance that little valve is gummed shut right now, and your seals are already carrying a load they were never built to handle. It almost never appears on a maintenance schedule, which is precisely why it's allowed to quietly fail. The fix is almost insulting in how cheap it is. The valve itself runs about $19, and swapping it takes most people 15 minutes in the driveway. Ignore it, and that same neglect ends with a rear main seal job that starts around $1,340 once you count the labor just to reach the thing. Number 10. Variable valve timing. Solenoids. Variable valve timing genuinely makes your engine smoother and more efficient, and the brochure is right to brag about it. What the brochure leaves out is that the whole system runs on oil pressure, squeezing through screens and passages narrower than a coffee stirrer. Let your oil go old and dirty, and that sludge cakes the solenoid screens until the timing can no longer shift the way the computer keeps demanding. You feel it as a rough idle, a stumble on acceleration, a check engine light that comes and goes for no reason you can see. Picture two of the same engine, both sitting at 120,000 miles. One belonged to a driver who changed the oil on schedule with the correct grade, and its solenoid screens are clean enough to read through. The other belonged to someone who stretched every interval to save a few bucks, and those screens are packed with brown varnish that no amount of wishing will dissolve. Same engine, same mileage. One adjusts its timing perfectly, the other throws codes and drinks fuel. Clean oil on time is the entire fix, and if a solenoid is already fouled, replacing one runs about $228 before it starts dragging the timing components down with it. Number 9. The engine that runs hot on purpose. Modern engines are built to run hotter than the engines your father drove, and that's not a malfunction. It's the design. A computer-controlled thermostat deliberately holds the coolant temperature high because a hotter engine burns a touch cleaner and squeezes out slightly better numbers on the tests that regulators care about. Here's what all that heat is doing to the oil it's quietly cooking. Lubrication engineers work off a rule of thumb that the rate at which motor oil breaks down roughly doubles for every 18 degrees Fahrenheit of added operating temperature. Run hotter and your oil oxidizes faster, your gaskets harden sooner, and every plastic part we just talked about ages quicker right alongside it. Drop a comment below. Do you actually know what temperature your engine runs at out on the highway? Most drivers have never once looked, so be honest down there. You can't lower the thermostat target without fighting the car's own computer, but you can refuse to let that heat win. A quality full synthetic rated for high temperature stability, changed before it's exhausted, costs around $74 and shrugs off the heat that turns cheaper oil into varnish. The very same varnish that funds a $960 top-end cleaning later on. The next feature on this list has nothing to do with how hot your engine runs, and everything to do with what your car is deliberately feeding back into it. Number 8. The EGR system. Your engine has a valve whose entire job is to grab dirty exhaust gas and route it right back into the intake to be burned a second time. It's called exhaust gas recirculation, and it exists for exactly one reason: to lower combustion temperatures enough to satisfy emissions rules. There is no version of this that helps your engine. You are feeding soot into your own intake by design. Over the years, that soot bakes into hard carbon on the valve and across the intake passages until the engine starts running rough, knocking, and tripping codes it can't clear on its own. A school bus driver near Tucson brought in a 2015 Toyota Tacoma doing all of that, convinced he was staring down a major engine failure. A shop had already quoted him $1,470 for parts he flatly did not need. The real issue was an EGR valve and an intake choked with carbon, and a proper cleaning set the whole thing right for $475 with no new parts at all. That right there is the difference between knowing what's happening under your hood and trusting whoever hands you the estimate. A sooted intake costs a few $100s and a couple of hours, but the next feature, when it finally lets go, starts well north of $2,000 and climbs fast from there. Number 7. The Downsized turbocharger. Somewhere along the way, the manufacturers decided to shrink your engine and bolt a turbocharger onto it, so a little 4-cylinder could do the work a 6 used to do. On paper, it's brilliant. The same power, better mileage on the test. What nobody mentions at the dealership is that the turbo spinning under your hood reaches over 100,000 revolutions per minute and glows orange hot, and the only thing lubricating and cooling it is your engine oil. That changes the rules completely. I've cut open failed turbos where the bearing journal was caked black with oil that had baked into something closer to tar, and the pattern never changes. The ones that died early belong to drivers who stretched their oil changes, or who shut the engine off the second they parked after a hard run, letting all that heat soak straight into the oil sitting inside the turbo. Treat a turbo engine like the naturally aspirated one it replaced, and you will bury it early. Change the oil more often than the manual claims you need to, every 5,000 miles on a full synthetic, and give it 30 seconds of idle to cool before you shut it down after hard driving. That habit costs you an $86 oil change a couple of extra times a year, set against a $2,180 turbo the day those bearings finally seize. Number 6. Low-tension piston rings. To squeeze out a little more fuel economy, engineers started fitting modern engines with low-tension piston rings, thinner rings that press against the cylinder walls with less force to cut friction. Less friction means slightly better mileage, and it also means those rings seal less tightly than the ones in the engines you grew up with. The result is an engine that burns a little oil as a designed-in trait, not as a defect. Here's the part that catches people. Walk into a dealer with an engine using a quart every 1,000 miles, and they'll tell you, with a perfectly straight face, that it's within specification. They aren't entirely lying. That really is how the engine was built. But that answer quietly hands you the responsibility and never once explains the danger. take two of the same engine out to 130,000 miles. One driver checks the oil every couple of fill-ups and tops it off with a $9 quart whenever it reads low. The other trusts the dashboard, never lifts the hood, and unknowingly runs a quart and a half low for months until a starved bearing lets go and turns a non-event into a $3,260 teardown. Check your oil every other tank, keep a spare quart in the trunk, and never let a ring design like this run your engine dry. Everything so far has been about parts that wear out, but the next feature is one the manufacturer swears never needs attention at all. And that promise is exactly what makes it so dangerous. Number 5. The lifetime timing chain. Years ago, manufacturers moved away from the timing belts you had to replace and switched to timing chains they proudly call lifetime components that never need service. Read the fine print on the word lifetime, because in their world, it means the life of the warranty, not the life of your car. A chain runs bathed in your engine oil, stretching microscopically as it wears, while the plastic guides and the tensioner that keep it tight wear right along with it. A stretched chain throws your valve timing out of sync, lights up the dash, and on an interference engine, a chain that finally skips a tooth, slams the pistons into the valves, and ends the engine on the spot. Let me ask you directly, have you ever heard a faint rattle for a second or two right when you fire it up cold, then nothing? Most drivers train themselves to tune that sound out, but that brief rattle is often the tensioner straining to take up slack in a chain that's already stretching, and it's the cheapest warning you will ever be handed. Keep clean oil in it, never ignore that cold start rattle, and have the chain inspected if it lingers. A chain and guides replaced on your own schedule runs about $1,890, while a snapped chain on the shoulder of the highway is a bent valve rebuild and a tow truck. Quick reminder before we keep going, if this list is saving you money and headaches, take 1 second and hit that subscribe button, because it's honestly the only thing that keeps these videos coming. Number 4. Cylinder deactivation. To save fuel when you're cruising, a lot of modern engines quietly shut off half their cylinders and run on the rest, then wake them back up the moment you accelerate. The marketing names are friendly: active fuel management, cylinder on demand, variable cylinder management, and the savings at the pump are genuinely real. What they don't advertise is the uneven wear it creates, because the cylinders that keep switching off and on don't heat, lubricate, or load the same way the others do. On a lot of these engines, that shows up as collapsing lifters, climbing oil consumption, and misfires that foul the plugs and the catalytic converter downstream. A retired teacher in Knoxville brought me a 2014 Honda Pilot that had started burning oil and stumbling under load, and the culprit was the deactivation system chewing through a lifter on one of the part-time cylinders. By the time it reached my bay, the repair came to $2,640. If your engine runs this feature, you can fit a small inline device that simply keeps it from dropping cylinders in the first place, and it runs about $118 installed. Short of that, stay relentless about clean oil and fresh plugs, because this system punishes neglect harder than almost anything else on this list. A collapsed lifter at least announces itself with a warning, but the next feature can be cooking itself right now, sealed up where you won't see a thing until the day it simply stops moving you forward. Number 3. The CVT transmission. The continuously variable transmission bolted to your engine threw out traditional gears in favor of a steel belt riding between two cone-shaped pulleys, all in the name of smoother power and better fuel numbers. When it works, you barely notice it, and that's the entire point. The trouble is that a CVT lives and dies by its fluid. The belt and pulleys run under enormous pressure and heat, and when that fluid breaks down, the whole unit begins to slip, shudder, and overheat. Worse, a failed CVT usually can't be rebuilt the way an old automatic could. It comes out and goes back in as one expensive assembly. Reliability surveys from Consumer Reports have repeatedly flagged CVT-equipped models among the more trouble-prone vehicles on the road, and the common thread in those failures is fluid that was never serviced. Now here's the lie that ties it all together. A lot of these are sold to you as sealed units with lifetime fluid that supposedly never needs changing. The fix is to ignore that lie outright and have the CVT fluid replaced every 30 to 60,000 miles with the exact factory-specified fluid, a $189 service standing between you and a $4,380 replacement. Notice the thread running through this entire list: heat, fluid, and neglect. Every one of them made worse by trusting your car to tell you when to act. That is exactly what brings us to number 1, the feature I warned you about at the very start. A single number on your dashboard that has been quietly orchestrating most of the damage you've heard about today, and we are almost there. Number 2, Direct fuel injection. For decades, fuel was sprayed onto the back of the intake valves, which carried a quiet side benefit that fuel constantly washed the valves clean as it passed. Direct injection changed all of that by spraying the fuel straight into the cylinder instead, which is more powerful, more efficient, and now sits on nearly every new engine sold. The catch is that the back of those intake valves no longer gets washed by anything at all. Oil vapor pulled in through that same PCV system we covered earlier bakes onto the hot valves and hardens into carbon layer over layer until it chokes the airflow feeding your cylinders. You get a rough idle, hard starts, misfires, and a slow bleed of the power and economy you actually paid for. A taxi driver in Albuquerque ran a 2017 Chevy Malibu with the small turbocharged direct injected engine, and by the time the misfires set in, the intake valves were buried under carbon thick enough to see with your eyes. A shop wanted to chase the problem with new parts, but the real cure was walnut blasting that carbon off the valves for $497. And had he kept ignoring the misfire, it would have eventually destroyed a catalytic converter worth $1,615. You slow this down by burning top-tier fuel, and every so often, on an open stretch of highway and fully within the speed limit, letting the engine work up through its rev range to help burn deposits off, legal, controlled, and easy to do on a clear road. Beyond that, plan on having the intake valves professionally cleaned somewhere around 80 to 100,000 miles on these engines. Here's the part that should land, though. All that carbon built up faster because the oil sat in the engine too long, which is the exact trap waiting for you at number 1. Number 1. The Oil Life Monitor. This is the one I promised you back at the very beginning, and it isn't a part at all. It's that confident little percentage on your dash counting you down to your next oil change. Your car watches how you drive and tells you when the oil is finished, and most drivers trust that number the way they'd trust a doctor. Here's what almost nobody knows. The manufacturer wrote the math behind that number, and they wrote it long on purpose. A car that only needs oil every 10, 12, even 15,000 miles looks cheaper to own on the brochure and cleaner on the paperwork the regulators read. It does not look nearly as good 4 years later when the warranty is gone and the engine is packed with the varnish and sludge those long intervals quietly leave behind. The cruel part is that nearly every feature on this entire list, your variable valve timing, your turbo, your timing chain, those deactivating cylinders, those carbon-prone injectors, every one of them gets worse running on tired oil. That dashboard number is the master switch sitting on top of all of it. In 22 years, I've torn into more sludged engines than I could ever count, and they shared one trait almost without exception. Owners who followed that monitor to the exact mile and never once thought to question it. The clean engines, the ones that roll past 250,000 miles without drama, belong to people who change their oil on real miles no matter what the dash was telling them. Most of your actual driving, short hops, cold starts, stop-and-go traffic, summer heat, is what your own manual buries under the term severe service, and that cheerful monitor barely accounts for any of it. So override it, change conventional oil closer to every 4,000 miles and full synthetic closer to 6,000, and treat that percentage on your dash as a suggestion from someone who never has to pay your repair bills. The entire fix is free. It's a number you simply choose to beat, costing you maybe a $63 oil change 2 or 3 extra times a year against the $6,240 it takes to drop in a new engine that sludged itself to death right on schedule. You came here worried about 13 separate features, and the truth is, they all answer to that one number you can start overriding for free today. Before you go, there's one more lie I have to put right in front of you. Twice on this list, you heard a manufacturer promise lifetime fluid that supposedly never needs changing. And the biggest version of that lie is the one quietly wrecking automatic transmissions all across the country. The lifetime transmission fluid myth. I tore the entire thing apart in the video on your screen right now, just off to the side. Click it before that monitor talks you into one more long oil change, and subscribe so the next dealership's secret lands in front of you instead of waiting for you behind a service counter. I'll see you there.